And I believe we are live. It looks like we're live. It always looks like we're live. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming to today's streaming. I'm getting some wacky echoing going on, so just hold on. You know what, Zach? I'm here with Zach, by the way, guys. I'm getting some echo going on over there. So, you mind muting me just for a second? Cool. So I'm here with our lead tech engineer, Onenfest. Today, guys, we're going to be covering a lot of cool stuff. We're going to be going into detail about Zach's going to cover some of the Unity 5 stuff that he's been working on with his team. I'll also talk about some of the cool stuff that we're changing on the design side. Basically, an overall update. We also set up a server so everybody can play and do all sorts of cool stuff and have fun. So, yeah, we've been making good progress. We've been ripping a lot of things out. Zach and his team have been redoing a lot of things to make the engine a little bit more moldable for the future because we got some future stuff planned as well. But yeah, we even redid like the day and night cycle, sky, sun. It's going to be awesome. So with that said, guys, as you know, we're kind of in this holding period right now as we go through this transition with Unity 5. And then I think it's like at 25 days now. That's our target. We'll get the game into beta, and you guys can start helping us test the Unity 5 version of Savage Lands. So with that said, since Zach only has a few minutes, I'm going to let him go ahead and take over and start talking about all the cool stuff that his team, that they've been working on. So don't forget to unmute.
Yes, all right. Can you hear me now? Perfect. Oh, look at that. Are you showing off the new island yet? Or just the original?
No, this...
Oh, you're not showing the new island? All right. Well, the first thing I want to talk about is the new island's awesome. I'm really excited to share that with everybody. I can't wait for everyone to see much more varied terrain. We've got a lot of interesting ruins, a lot of kind of implicit storytelling going on, but as far as the actual tech stuff, oh, my chat isn't coming up. I was hoping to respond to anybody's chat, so my chat isn't coming up. So, Chris, if you see any chats, let me know with questions. But the big things we're hitting, as you know, with Unity 5, they did a graphics overhaul, this thing called Global Illumination with PBR. Can't remember that's physically based rendering. Is that what it stands for? I like to think of it as PAPS Blue Ribbon rendering.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah, you know, somebody says, "Hey, we're gonna put PBR in the game," and you think, "Wow, we're gonna get a little saucy." So to that end, we've had to update a lot of our art. So we're using, we're rewriting a bunch of shaders. Chris mentioned the sun, the moon. We actually are using the Unity provided sun shader, which actually provides a sun with all sorts of realistic looking coloring and exposure, etc., etc. We're getting a moon in the game that actually conforms to how a real moon works. In fact, with this new technology, we can do some great things, like if we want to eventually add seasons to the game where the sun gets higher and lower. Anybody in a latitude that's not near the equator understands that, when the days get longer, it's summer. When days get shorter, it's winter. And in Savage Lands, I do believe it's always winter. So we're going to keep that sun low in the sky and make everybody super depressed. So y'all got to be taking your vitamin D. I don't know. Do we have vitamin D in the game, Chris? Oh, that's too bad. All right. Well, we'll have to find some way to craft vitamin D supplements. Perhaps you can, build a supplement shop and then go purchase them from some pro dude or something. We'll figure that out. Again, we're doing some water shader stuff and shaders on everything. So should look a lot nicer. It already does look a lot nicer. I wish we could show it off, but things are still a secret apparently. I'm always the guy who wants to show everything off, and they have to say no, 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 no. So, or I want to talk about stuff. I'm not sure if there's anything else for me to talk about. Are there any questions that are showing up on the?
Sure. I would ask the question, what has been your biggest challenge so far?
The biggest challenge so far has been getting the graphics to look nicer. With Unity 5, again, they completely overhauled the way they do their graphics. So if we wanted to take 100% advantage of it, we'd require a year of retooling all of the way all of our textures work, stuff like that. But that said, we are finding ways to take existing graphics and do minor changes to make them look way better. Oh, I see. Okay, good. My chats are working again. So shaders are good, but we'll take up more RAM. Now, the new shaders, there are going to be probably a performance hit. So what we are also doing is before we even launch this new island with the Unity 5, your options menu is going to have a lot more features, so you can tone down the options and hit a better performance on your machine. So that should hopefully uh, help you out there if you have a machine that's a little slower. Are there any other questions? Will we be giving away keys? Hold on. Can I don't think I can push these into the internet. I think it's actually a Chris question. So I'm gonna guess yes, just because Chris seems to give things away a lot whenever I get in these streams. So I don't know how you craft keys in the game, but we'll have to get them in. No, I know what you mean, and unfortunately, I don't have the authority on that. Chris will have to answer that question.
So I would like to. I think we'll run some raffles or raffle and give away 5 different keys. I'll leave that to the mod team to run the raffle. That's ideally what I'd like to do. So if Sean, if we can do that, I'll send you keys, and then we'll email out everybody all that good stuff.
All right, and I've got about 2 more minutes. If there's any more questions that are going to come up, I can answer them. If not, Chris can relay them to me. I'll be on the discussion boards. Unfortunately, I didn't have time today to play any pranks on Chris or do anything like that. I apologize.
Are there
going to be chunk loader settings for the players?
Chunk loader settings for the players. And what's a chunk loader setting? Not quite.
It's a chunk loader, man.
I'm not sure what a chunk loader. I don't know what you're referring to. You mean like as in loading chunks of the island, or is this gameplay, or is this technology?
What are you doing?
Let's see. Dragging back larder and holding items in a pine box. That's a design question. Show some screenshots of Unity 5. I can't show you. I don't know if we can show you screenshots of Unity. Go out there and look at just YouTube Unity 5 as an example of the kind of improvements. But that would be another Chris question. Again, I'm curious about this chunk loader settings.
Yes, the plan is to, once we get past the issues with the shaders and getting the island looking decent, then we'll share out. I'll actually run a stream with the game in Unity and kind of go through the new island, show off some of the cool stuff. We'll also be putting up new screenshots on the store page on our website. So, yes.
Oh, I see.
So, Zach,
yeah.
Are we going to be working on shields?
Oh yes. These are some design stuff that I'm not thinking about. Yes, we are going to be working on shields. We're also going to be working on a character customizer. A little bit of an update to that. But yes, I'm really excited to get that technology in. We have dual wielding already in at a testing state right now internally. So sword, etc., has two swords, things like that. And yes, block attacks. They aren't just going to be decorative. So that'll be great.
So yeah, we got some good stuff planned, guys. We're actually overhauling all of the structures in the game as well. So you'll have floors on the structures. The town hall got a huge cosmetic update. So you're going to find tables, candles, beds, all sorts of cool stuff inside those structures. Forge is getting an update. So we got our art team. We got the full force of the art team behind the game now. So it's going to look really good.
Yeah, it's already looking great. Unfortunately, I have to leave, everybody. So thanks for listening. And next time, hopefully I can go in there and run away from some pigs and maybe punch a dragon in its butt again. I think that was the highlight of my experience last time. And maybe I'll even have a weapon this time to maybe poke the dragon in the butt. That'd be great.
Onin fist.
That's right. Onin fist out. Keep on playing. Thanks, everyone.
Hold on, guys, here. Let me do this. There we go. We are good. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate the update, bud. All right, everybody. So, yeah, we got a lot of good stuff planned. The code team is cranking away on a lot of killer stuff. Yeah, remember lots of creatures and animals in there. Tell us, yes, you will actually have new creatures in the game. The rabbit that I've been promising you guys for so long now will actually be going in, which is fantastic. We're adding in some really cool looking trolls to the game. We have a giant ogre that will also be going into the game as well. We got the ogre. And we got something else. Gosh darn it, I can't remember now. So we're actually aiming to have 4 new creatures in the game. What you're going to see on the New World 2 is that the population of creatures are going to be, they're not all going to be intermixed. There will be various population points along the different, there's 3 different islands, so along the different islands. You're going to spawn, or you'll emerge, you'll awake on what I consider the starting area. You're only going to be able to craft a finite amount of things on that island, so that way it pushes you out to the larger island. I've kind of retweaked the whole progression, how players will kind of move about. So again, there's 3 islands, which means you'll have to go to the 3rd island to encounter Kerr, and then of course mine some of the some really cool ore components in the game. So there's that. Let's see, I was working on the shield spec the other day for the code team. I got that done. We're redoing the UI. We're redoing the HUD UI. So let me turn it on here. All of this stuff, you see that bar in the upper left-hand corner? We're getting rid of that. Oh, hey, I'm starving too. Beep. Yeah, we got to get those ram horns in, Sean. I agree. But this UI is actually going to get an overhaul. It's going to look really good. This bar up here in the upper left, this UI housing, is going to be converted into icons that will be seated in the lower right-hand corner. When you get poisoned, the right status effect icons will appear. We're going to overhaul the visual look of the journal. So not only will it now, it'll also support lore. We're looking at adding lore into the game. So, for example, you come running up over here. Let's say there's that skeleton and there's going to be a journal on the ground. Of course, everybody has to visualize this with me. And then you hit E, you would interact with the journal or interact with that lore tome, and then it would bring up your journal and give you some text on why this dude might have died. So cool stuff. And will charcoal have a purpose? Absolutely not. Charcoal is going to be one of those fine ingredients I use to spam loot drops with. Come on, everybody loves charcoal, right? No? Maybe? All right. So anyway, looks like I'm doing this stream now solo. Zach had to run. So hang on, guys. It's going to be a wild ride. So keep on asking those questions about our Unity 5 update. Have we abandoned the game? Absolutely not. We've actually going the extra mile to vastly improve the game by adding on 12 new developers to the project. That's 12 developers, 10 to 12, to the project. The president of the company is actually helping out. He's beautifying the new world that we've created. So we got all hands on deck. We're pushing to get the game out, so we're not going to be one of those games that lingers in early access, I don't know, for 2 years. I mean, how many games do that, right? So, not to be snarky, witty, crazy dev, but we're not actually looking to aim to keep the game in early access forever. We're actually looking to bring it to completion so that we can move on to other projects that we'd like to work on, in addition to providing a regular cadence of new updates and potentially DLC for Savage Lands as we go forward. So, lots of cool stuff planned. So, will creatures interact with each other? Zach and I were actually just talking about this yesterday. We would love to improve the AI so that wolves will track deer and kill deer and eat deer. Wolves will eat the corpses of players. If you're bleeding, that creates a larger scent radius around the players. So wolves, instead of wandering, they'll actually be attracted to you. Things like the forest giants, we want to interact more with the world, so forest giants can come bashing through houses. The dragon, if you go inside a wood structure, can actually set those wood structures on fire. Of course, you could always invite your friends into your house, close the door and set the house on fire. That's always good fun. So those are the types of cool things that we're looking to add into the experience. Does the game have armor that you can discover? We're looking at overhauling the armor system, so I may get more flexibility to do some cool stuff where you have to explore to find these bits of armor. So I may put it in as kind of a task/quest. So potentially. When I get this overhaul to the armor system, which by the way was only phase 1, it will give me more flexibility to do more stuff with the armor and add more armor easily. We are adding in dragon scale armor. We are adding in a few more new weapons. We're actually adding in a ton more items that you can, components that you'll be able to collect so we can create recipes. You'll be able to actually create cured meats now. We're talking about structure functionality, so we'll take one of the structures and make it a smokehouse, adding in a log rack so you can actually stack your logs, so you don't have to carry them around in your bags. So a lot of cool stuff planned. All right. So right now I'm just kind of wandering around the world. Maybe I'll meander on down to one of the forest giants. We'll see. But please ask questions. Tell me what's on your mind. You love the game. Maybe I'll read some mean reviews in the process because that's always fun. Who knows? But anyway, if you got questions, let me know. Otherwise, if you're new to the stream, welcome to our Signal Studio stream that we do every week. Next week, guys, I'm going to schedule it for Wednesday because it's Thanksgiving here in the States for us. One of those crazy holidays that we just happen to have because it seems like we have a holiday here every 2 weeks. But this is a good holiday. We're going to have it. We're going to be off for the day or two. So we're going to push it a day early. Maybe we'll do some dragon raiding, and I'll bring some more developers on so you guys can meet the team. I think that would be awesome. Yes! Falling damage will be added to the game because it's absolutely silly that we don't have falling damage right now, right? So we are going to be adding that, and damage will actually be calculated based on velocity and how far you've fallen. Crazy, I know. Mounts would be something that would probably come online post-launch. Right now, our schedule, we're kind of swamped. Once I get in a good place, not next week, but the week after, I'll update the Trello board and give you guys an idea of what we currently have in production. And apparently, I can't drink drinks. The age-old question of females. It is on our list to do. We are working on some new technology for the character customizer, morphing technology. So now, not only will you be able to customize your skin color, your hair, and all that, but you'll also be able to adjust how your character looks. You can have a heavy-set guy if you want, super skinny guy if you want, or the average athletic build that we offer you today. Craftable map. I was talking with one of the coders, Mitch, on ways that we could potentially open the map up for modders. So if you guys want to mod stuff after the game releases, we may very well let you do that. Is the game streaming? The game, we should be streaming right now. Hopefully you guys... whoa! Where did you come from? You should not be out and about. Whoa, that's odd. I wonder if I borked one of the spawners. Well, luckily this map's going away. That guy only comes out at night, but apparently he doesn't come out at night. I must have messed up one of the spawners. Gosh darn it. That's what I get for changing stuff up. All right. Boo, 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 boo. All right, here we are at Camp Crystal Lake. One of my favorite places. Now let's hope I don't get turned around. I shouldn't get turned around. All right. So if you're new to the stream, what is that? That was a spirit wolf. Those are supposed to come out at night. They're kind of like, they're secondary guardians of the Isle, wolves that haven't necessarily been corrupted by Kerr. Yes, they give spirit orbs, spirit shards. For those that don't know, spirit orbs you can hold in your secondary or primary. They will cure disease, and they will also regenerate your health. Now, you can also use spirit orbs in the process of forging Soulstorm, which is one of our unique weapons in the game. People have asked me, why does Soulstorm drain? It drains because as you wield it, and this lore-wise and logically it kind of makes sense, because spirit orbs drain, as you hold them in your hand, you're actually draining the spirit magic from those orbs, and that being brought into your person, which allows you to remove disease and heals you. Same thing happens with Soulstorm. Essentially, when you wield it, you're kind of siphoning away the power of the sword to keep your character well. if you will. Keep them healed, keep them intact. So Soulstorm's one of those utility weapons that you only want to use, if you're fighting certain types of creatures. You don't always want to, or if you need to heal up after a battle, it's great to equip. So it's kind of, I look at it as a really cool utility weapon to have in your arsenal of weapons. Will you see different environments? Yes, the islands are going to. There'll still be this snow frozen type theme to them, but they will vary in their biome and how they look. Excuse me. Ginger ale. Recycling items. I want to add that in. I got a lot of stuff on my plate, so one of the other designers I'm working with, I'm probably going to tag that onto his plate. I do need a little code support for that because it will look wonky in our crafting window, but I think there's a way that we can do it. Something I definitely want to get in. So let's see. Yes, I believe I'm wandering down to the forest giants area. I believe so. Hopefully I didn't get lost in the process. Yes, we're heading in the right direction. For those of you guys wondering when the Unity 5 version will go into beta, we're looking probably around 25 days-ish. That could give or take depending on testing. Because as we move the engine over, we're finding bugs. Like, for example, all the tree colliders, everything we have up for line of sight, we ran into some issues as we modified the tree manager system in the game, and it kind of broke some things. So we're kind of, as we go forward, but our goal is literally 3 weeks is what we're aiming for to get it into beta. That's not full release. That is beta, so you guys can get in there and help us start testing. And I throw that out there to the community because we really will need your help to test the game and work out a lot of bugs because moving to a new engine is not some trivial task. But that's the great thing about early access. I always say it in every stream. It gives us the opportunity to work with you, with the fans, the player base, and you guys in beta. When it's in beta, you get to see things early as they're being developed. So a lot of cool stuff. Yes, fishing is on the to-do list. I actually I'll be working on the spec, but we're going to have like different types of fish. You can even catch junk. You never know, you might catch an old pair of boots. A lot of cool stuff. Maybe even get a skull, uridium skull. Who knows? Good stuff. But fishing is on our list to get in. The code, I moved a couple things around to get that in there. Woohoo! Different types of fishing poles too. So one of the ways that I may do this, it depends on how code wants to set it up, but crafting different types of fishing poles will give you, a more finely crafted fishing pole could give you a better chance of catching certain types of fish in the waters and other little creatures that we may add. Yeah, Sean, anytime you want to do the raffle, go right ahead. Fire away. All right. Right. All right. Raffle is live. We're giving away keys. Giving away keys. All right. Yes, please follow the channel. Head over to our store page. Follow the game for updates. We're always doing stuff. We're always trying to do stuff. So we're crazy, wacky devs like that. So hopefully everybody that comes to the channel, I know a lot of long time, new players, old schoolers, guys, thank you guys for supporting us. It's very important that we have a great community, and we do. A lot of people, a lot of players that like to hang out with us during dev streams, and it means a great deal to us as a team. We ask, once, spread the good word of Savage. We're a developer that's really invested in our products, in our titles, and our games, and we're really looking to make something awesome. I believe, Savage Lands to me is an awesome game. Still needs work. I'll be the first one to admit it, and there are bugs. I'll be the first one to admit it. But we are heading down a good path. I'm super excited. It looks like there's a forest giant. Hello, little forest giant. Who do I got with me? Nobody. Oh man, I'm hosed. What the heck? I got tons of armor. All right. So here we are. We're rolling up on one of the more epic creatures in the game. I know if I die, I don't even have... do I have any skulls? I'm sorry, I got to finish that thought there. What you see here is a forest giant. These are the guardians of the Sundered Isle, some of the more ancient creatures that actually protect the island. These are the reason why Kerr can't fully control and take control of the island. But he's also here, from a lore perspective, these giants hold something that he's been after. He's a dragon. His lust for power is insatiable. So these guys, but he can't take these guys out alone. Luckily for Kerr, players are starting to arrive on the island, and they're doing that job for him. All right. Ooh. Ooh. I wish I had a bow on me. Ooh. Yeah, so it looks like there's still some targeting issues that we got to work out in the next update. It's better than what it was. All right, guys. Now I'm just taking mental notes for the game. Oh, some cool things we're going to be adding too. We're going to be improving the jump, and we're also looking at adding crouch, because everybody loves crouch. Congrats, everybody who won. Thank you guys for coming to our stream today. Much greatly appreciated. Thank you, mods, for taking care of all that. All right. Man, I should have brought a bow. So I'm here with Cad and Roach, and we're looking to take down a forest giant. Good stuff. And we got a blizzard going too. It's good. For those of you wondering what weapon I have in my hand, this little guy is called Ragebane. It is the most epic weapon that you can craft or acquire from Kerr in the game. It's actually, lore-wise, it actually doesn't come from the Sundered Isle. It's from somewhere else. And it's made out of dragon. All right, we got this. Where's he going? Oh! Yeah! It's my armor. I'm still good. Oh, we got him. Excellent work, everybody. Coo! We get a forest giant. All right. So, hopefully everybody out there, you guys have been having fun with Savage Lands. We're pretty stoked with the progress that we've been making. I know it's we're trying to be a little different than other survival games out there, and here I go, I'm hungry again. Trying to do something a little different, fantasy survival. You don't see that too often. Most of the time, there's other great games out there, but I want to say that we appreciate you guys supporting us. Oh, I'm stuck to frostberries. All right. Yes, every building will have floors in the Unity 5 update. Well, it should be in that update. If not, it'll be in an update after we release the Unity 5 version. But there will be floors on buildings. We're even looking, as Zach mentioned earlier in the stream, we're looking at adding some cool options like HDR support, PDR, variety field of view slider, so you guys can adjust the field of view now. We're going to make the invert mouse option a little bit more. We're redoing our settings screen. So invert mouse Mouth smoothing and mouth sensitivity will be in a nice little localized spot, so players, you don't get those reviews that say you don't have mouth smoothing. When actually we do. You just got to scroll down a little bit. But we're looking to have everything on one screen so that you don't have to scroll. It'll be right there, and everything will be nice and cool and fun. The flame on my weapon doesn't bug me at all. I actually, you get used to it after a while. But I should tone it down a little bit. It's my first pass at the weapon. Yes, Cool Joe Tiger, the new map will make it much easier to build towns. Much, much easier. Much better job in terms of its initial, the height map, the layout. I went in, I used some tools to carve out something really unique. These high, giant peaks over the main island. The initial start island where you'll begin has these really cool flowing snowdrifts. I mean, you'll be able to look around the island just by the landmarks, the overall, like you would if you're out in an area of high mountains. It's kind of like rolling up on the Misty Mountains in Lord of the Rings. You'll know where you're at. You'll have a great idea. You'll be able to keep track. The sun and the moon they now work properly. East and west will feel more natural. So a lot of cool stuff planned. Yeah, I guess that would be a great option to have to... Oh, there's Lycor. Look at that. What are the odds of that? So here's the new Lycor. You can see he's glowing purple, and I'm getting wrecked. All right, we got him. So yeah, Lycor actually looks like he's being looted by Y2J. Lycor drops these Sundered Oath Blades, so when you loot him, he has a lot of cool stuff. And Blood of the Brood, I think, as well. It's a rare drop from Lycor. It was one of the name bosses, which, by the way, I'm going to call out. I think it's pretty unique that as a survival game, we have bosses that you can actually kill and loot rare stuff. I don't know. I think that's kind of cool. But, it's not your idle zombie standing there waiting for you to pass by before it runs at you. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased. I don't know. Yes, there was a lore question earlier. We are adding lore to the game. Journals, tomes, text. Myself and another designer are going to be writing those. We'll have a system that you'll be able to interact with those journals. Once you interact or find that journal that's in the world, it'll actually be stored in a lore tab in your journal. Hopefully that works. So be able to put more stuff in about Lycor, Sundered Oathblade, Vec, and all these other towns that have been destroyed. Or ruin, more stuff about the dragon, and we'll talk, even individual, you might find a diary on the events that happened when Kerr arrived. So a lot of cool stuff. I'm super excited. Can't wait to write that stuff. We'll also be staying true to a lot of the lore, the fiction that's already been written. We're going to adhere to that and then add on top of that. The Tower of Court Azul, which was named by the community, will be in the game along with the Sundered Oathblade. So all that stuff is going to remain intact. Yes, lore has always been something very important to me. We haven't had the bandwidth to put it in or give it the proper time and code time to do it as well as we need to. Let alone I didn't have a secondary designer to help me with it, where I was constantly working on balancing, adding new items. I was the sole designer, producer, game director for the project. So not to cry, River, it was always a time issue. And now with the full, we got a lot of resources behind this game now. Not that we didn't before, but we have double what we had. So 10 plus developers now. We're making great progress to do something, to do great stuff. A lot of features that you guys have been asking for. Yes, once you unlock the lore, it's basically the lore's, that journal's, oh man, what did I get? Yeah, and we make this look easy when we're, by the way, decked out in ebon steel. We have Sundered Oathblades there. We got good weapons. He didn't even stand a chance. So, let's see. Will there be ways to navigate other than using the sun landmarks or compass? What else would you like to see? Maybe a map. We talked about a map, but that was lower on the list. And to answer the original question, lore will carry over across server based on your character. Hopefully that answers that. Walls are something I'm going to add in as well. So you guys can go back to building walls around your bases, keeping the AI critters out. I got a bunch of cool props that will be updating for that. It depends on the... Oh, boy, I just got... Depends on the creatures. Some of the larger creatures will definitely bash through your structures. Stone structures are planned... There's another bear. With stone structures, we want them to protect you from fire, like Kerr. Wood structures, maybe the Furies can bring it down. It's something I got to talk with Code with. But the larger creatures, like the giants, the forest giants, and some of the ogres that we're going to be putting in will definitely destroy structures, no problem. Yeah, absolutely. Critical error. That's a great idea. We plan to put in a better tooltip system as well. I want to color code weapons based on common, uncommon, and rare. Potentially epic or legendary, depending if I want to come up with that tab. Here's a cool picture. Yeah, so we got the lore. The lore will track. I want to do a better job with weapons as well, and we got to call this stuff out. Because it's, a lot of the weapons, the weapons the NPCs drop actually have lore behind them because they are named weapons. It's not just picking up the black sword. It's picking up the Sundered Oathblade. Why is it the Sundered Oathblade? There's Flesh Ripper. By the way, guys, Flesh Ripper will be moved on the new world. I'm actually going to hide it really well. But it'll be another one of those discoverable items. And that will be probably the one item that I'm going to change some lore up a little bit on. Just FYI. Yes, randomized user. We'd love to do those events. There's no reason why we can't do them other than the fact at the time we didn't have resources. So going beyond Christmas, like Valentine's Day, April Fools, that kind of stuff, there's a lot of fun things that we can do as long as we plan for it now that we have the team to do that. Frostberries. Just killed a gremlin. Nice. Good job. I would like to add some detrimental effects to weapons. It's something we're going to need for PvP. Being able to add poison to your weapons, being able to add, sharpening the edges so they cause bleeding damage to players. We're also, you guys will like this, for PvP, one of the things that we're talking about is, because right now you can be in the middle of a PvP battle and then quit and you don't die. We're looking at keeping your players around for 10, 15 seconds before they actually log out of the server, so that if you're in the middle of PvP combat, you try to quit, and you're about to die, that player will still be able to kill you and get the credit. But again, that's only for hostile servers. Things like adding locks to doors is something we want to do, but it's a little bit lower on the priority list until we get some of these bigger features done. Yeah, the unlocking of strong boxes for other players is done through the server settings. Our mods posted up that info in the channel. the Easter egg at the mountain right now. Which Easter egg are you referring to? Which mountain? I'm a little confused. Yes, Cool Joe Tiger, I do want Flesh Ripper. I would like to we were talking about randomized spawns in the world. Things that you could, might appear in one area, and it only appears in one spot, but when it spawns in that spot, it only spawns once, for the whole server. So it's one of those discovery elements. If acquired by the player, then it won't spawn again. There's some cool things that we can do on that side, on that front. Critical error, maybe. I mean, we want to get shields in right now. Here's Kerr's area. We could add. Complication is a bad choice of words, but we could add more to the combat. But again, first things first. Let's get in shields. Let's improve the combat that we currently have, make it feel better, and then go from there. I don't want to add so much to combat that it just, it's not fun. I want to make, when I focus in on PvP, I want to make that feel really good. So, parrying, repost, those kinds of things, do they make sense? Dodge, maybe, I don't know. But that's another layer of combat that we can look to explore later on. Right now, the most important thing is getting shields in. When shields kind of baseline function, what we're thinking about right now is you'll have to equip it in your secondary. You hold down the right mouse button and it'll keep your shield up. Creatures do have what we call piercing damage. If the creature happens to do more piercing damage than what your shield can protect against, you could potentially be knocked out of that shield stance, making you vulnerable to attack. So those are that's kind of like the basic high level of where we're going with shields right now. Additional combat could be one of those things too that come out later. When we expand through DLC, you buy the expansion pack for $5 that adds another island, more things to discover, and in addition to overhauling combat for the players as well. We can make a nice big overhaul chunk, add in some other things that make sense for it based on new weapons that we add. Under tree nuts. Where are we going? We're just to the ruins of the Skira. That's where Kerr. Now I'm going to make my way towards Helion. There's a buck. Crazy. Those things are super skittish. Yeah, the great thing is about the overhaul to the technology is that we can add, we're going to ship with a good amount of content. There's no doubt. We're not going to charge you $60 for it either, so don't even expect that. We're in a good price range. I don't know what the exact price will be, but we're at a good, we're in the range that feels good. DLC is not going to be like $20, $40 either, so whatever we add will make sense and feel good for the game. And it's not going to break your wallets either, guys. We want to make sure, and it'll be a good amount of content to keep you satisfied and keep the game fun. Food preserving. Well, we're gonna, I want to do some more with cured meats. I gotta do more. I think those hit reacts might be too high. I'd like to think so, Critical Era, that Savage Lands has a ton of content. I mean, Ark is a good game. It has a lot of content. They have a big team, though, like 30, 40 developers. So that it gives them the freedom and flexibility to really just crank out a ton of content. I'd like to be there one day to have a team of that size and just constantly be adding to Savage Lands. But we're a little bit smaller, so we gotta, we do the best we can with what we have, and we got a good team, we got good coders. But in general, I like to think that as a survival game, we do have a decent amount of content. From over 80 different items that you can collect, and different types of armor and weapons, and areas to explore with boss NPCs, different types of creatures, giants. I mean, it's not like we just have one skeleton that's populated around the island. We actually have a variety of different skeletons, coupled with wolves and boar and goats and giant NPC bosses and forest giants, and of course a dragon boss encounter. Outside of maybe Ark, I don't know of any other survival game that actually has boss encounters. That's just me, though. Yes, I would love to give the early access adopters something special for participating or for helping us out during the early access phase. That's something we got to work out with the code team, but I have it as on our sprint list of wish lists right now, our triage list. It is one of those things that I have listed. Special item, community, thank you for being part of this great experience. Yeah, the ARC team did a great job. I mean, I applaud them. It is a good survival experience, one of the better dinosaur survival games out there for sure. They've been doing a great job keeping it updated, so definitely, it's definitely good. My favorite, one of the survival games that I really enjoy is a game called Subnautica, and I always give those guys props. They do a really good job. It's a clean game. It's fun. I do try to take look at a lot of survival games when I can and I have time, but yeah, Subnautica is one of my favorite games in the survival genre that I enjoy. Thanks, Critical. That's good to hear. Yeah, we try. We're trying. That's all I can say. We're doing our best to keep the game fresh. The fantasy theme is cool. That's one of the reasons why we chose fantasy for our survival game. Is nobody else has done it. Though similar to Ark, it does come with its own level of complication. If you're going to create a dinosaur game, you got to have a variety of different types of dinosaurs and creature and fauna that kind of help sell that world. In a fantasy game, we have the similar dilemma, which is we got to have a variety of creatures that sell the fantasy theme. Undead skeletons, plague wolf type creatures, dragon, of course, and a variety of different type of fauna that you can kill and hunt for the basic survival mechanics. So, but it is a lot of work, and it's not easy. So, but it is for us. We love the survival genre. It's a great place. It's where we want to be. And we think Savage Lands definitely has a place here. And we're going to continue to make it better. One of our goals in terms of providing a solid experience is, we've been really good about fixing bugs and making it, run as well as we can within the confines of the tech. So when I hear players say, the game is actually really stable. Sure, the frame rate can be a little bit better, and I don't disagree in some cases. It runs really good. It doesn't crash all the time. Now, that's always really positive to hear. That means all the hard work that we did early on to make it as stable as possible paid off. Critical Error, I don't disagree. Actually, I agree with you. I got to figure out, when I work on the new island, I have some ideas on how I'm going to tweak progression. I don't want to necessarily put in a WoW style, XP system, but I'm not necessarily opposed to it either. I'm going to tweak some of the stuff we have, and then eventually it's possible. If time permits, maybe we'll go to something. The thing is, once I add in a progression system, then I got to start tying in more things to it, stats, increased stamina, increased health, increased cold resistance. Then, then it comes with skills. The list, it could become a rabbit hole that we might not want to go down. But in truth, I haven't really investigated it just yet. When we move to the new island, I want to take what we have and do a better job of laying the progression of equipment and weapons out so that it feels more natural as you're going through the world crafting these things versus finding everything right up front. So with buildings, for the foreseeable future, they're going to remain prefabs, templates, diagrams for now. But in the future, potentially through DLC, we might, as we're talking about other projects that we want to do, freeform building is one of those things that we want to add. And if we add that to the next game that we want to do, because we share technology, that's one of those things that would port back into Savage Worlds. So this area that I'm sitting in right now, this is where the NPC Helion spawns. And we're right... he might spawn, might not, we'll see. Is that Zach? He wants to. He loves being a superstar. Yeah, Zach is. If you guys didn't, if you missed, if you came in late, Zach's our lead tech director, techno wizard, working with his team behind the scenes to get Savage ported over, making everything run awesome, and adding in all sorts of cool features. Onin Fist in the game. All right, guys. I got 2 more. I started a late. I'll give it 5 more minutes, and then I got to start wrapping things up because I got to go write more documents for the code team so that they can do their jobs. That's the beauty of being the bottleneck. No, yeah, Critical Error. Those are good ideas. Yeah, definitely a path we could take. I just would have to think about the system more. Think about the overall impact to what we have, what would need to be changed. So go through a whole process of basically just kind of, what will the overall impact be? What can we add that will be compelling? And those are great ideas. Definitely post them up in our forums because I love keeping track of that stuff because as soon as I get off the stream, my mind will go to documentation mode on what we kind of already have planned, and keeping track of all that stuff is super duper important. Love great ideas like that. So what are the new fantasy creatures for the future, Beck? We got some trolls lined up that are going to be super awesome. We have a giant ogre that we're going to be adding. Oh, and we got this crazy. Now I remember. It's this crazy whacked out. It's not a plague wolf. It looks like a half rat, half mountain lion type creature. It's pretty cool. And it only comes out at night. Well, we don't have goblins, but we have forest gremlins. These little evil guys. We're going to amp them up by the time we release. We're going to give them more animations, a little bit more personality. We love those guys. So here's an example. I just looted one of the skeleton corpses. This is tortured skeleton. These guys walk around with some armor. So when I loot them, you can see I get the wristband. I get these wrists, that worn leather armor, an axe, of course, skeleton bone, and a helmet. Worn leather metal face guard. That's not too shabby. Cute. Oh, nearing raffle time. Whenever you are ready, Sean. And guys, let's give it up for our moderators, Sean and Devlin Pixie, doing a great job keeping bringing order to chaos. These guys, our team here is phenomenal. We love our mod team; they do a great job. So definitely give them support where you can. Just want to make sure I give a shout out to all those people. or our mod team, because they do a great job. Makes our lives easier on the dev side. If you haven't been to our bug forums, go to our bug forums. They're phenomenal. Our code team loves the bug forums. They're just so well organized. One of the best bug forums I've ever been to. Yeah, the Gremlins building communities would be awesome. I like the fact, I would love for them to actually take over your camps. So when you come back, there's, you come back, there's like 10 of them sitting inside your camp, either destroying things or building some new stuff. That would be pretty cool. It's raffle time! Raffle, raffle, raffle! Get your raffle on! All right. Raffle! And guys, if you're new to the stream and you haven't followed us, go to our store page. Follow the channel here on Twitch. Follow us on the store page. We post up whenever we have events. You'll be notified and you can join in. We also host our own Signal Studios stream every week, our own server, so you can join in and be famous like all these wonderful peeps here that are playing with us today. Rocking and rolling. So next week, I think we may do a Dragon Raid. So 24-man server. We'll see. I'll bring in some of the team. We'll meet the team. We'll have people kind of cycle in and out. Should be pretty cool. All right, so what do we have? I always love chopping down trees. Chop the trees. Get a fire going. Thank you, Skagasaurus. We try to be cool, try to be honest with our players, let them know what's going on as we build this game, because I think it's important to be honest with you guys, especially those that have, if you're new, you haven't purchased, coming to our streams is awesome. You can learn a lot about our team. You can also learn a lot about the game. But for those of you that have been around for a while, we try to be as transparent as possible. We're usually really transparent about what's going on with the game, progress on updates, where things are at. So, I thought in this day and age, it's not like it was in the 90s when we used to make games the old school way. This day and age, it's all about having a great community of players. Word of mouth is very important. Grassroots. This is where it's at. You guys are. I believe that it's very important to involve the community to help make great games. You guys have a lot of good ideas, and it's you love the experience. Many people, I've seen a lot of people, 400-500 hours now they put into the Savage Lands. Really impressive, and that brings a smile to my face. Love seeing that. Though I do have 1,300 hours, just saying. I probably should have more. Lazy dev. All right, congratulations, all the winners. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the game. If you already own it, no worries. Just send out the key to one of your friends. Bring them in. It's always good stuff. We will take care of getting those keys to you. Our moderators will be in touch with you, and don't worry, you will get your key. If for some reason you don't get your key, you can always, yes, you'll get it here on Twitch. Thank you, Sean. Yes, the moderators are great. We have a great team. All right, we have a great community for a survival game. Usually the community can sometimes be pretty brutal, but our community is really good. We have a lot of great people that love to contribute and help. I think that's one of the good things or great things about building a fantasy survival game is it kind of sets you into a different category because fantasy, a lot of people love to co-op together. Really important for part of the experience. You know, it's not necessarily all about killing because there's a lot to do. Go out and kill creatures, farm materials to build and craft. Oh, it's a good experience. I think we have an amazing community, so I really like being part of it. Been a part of it now for what, a long year, almost 2 years. No, a year and a half. Yeah, maybe less. We're coming up. Where are we at? Yeah, a year and a half. It's been a while. Wow, that's a long time. Cool. So, everybody, I got to get going. I have to go write some docs. I just want to thank everybody coming out to our stream today. Please thank our moderators. Stay on the stream. You know, these guys will definitely get you your keys. We'll work it out. So don't sweat it. You guys won those keys fair and square, and congrats. Otherwise, everybody that showed up today to participate on our server, thank you, guys, for coming out. I know I just kind of wandered around and looked at stuff. No real big purpose today other than playing. Hope you guys had a lot of fun. I'll keep the server going for probably another 10 minutes, and then I'll bring it down. Otherwise, thank you all for coming. We greatly appreciate it. And in the coming weeks, after our Thanksgiving here, we'll give you guys an update on Unity 5. We'll show off some screens. We'll show off the goods. We'll show you what we've been working on. So that's about it. All right. Thank you guys. Have a great one. I'm shutting this thing down.